Joining us now, Chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Democratic Majority Whip, Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois. Mr. Chairman, it's good to have you on with us this morning. I want to talk to you about Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson and the vote we're expecting to see out of Judiciary today. It looks like an 11-11 deadlock. Is that the way you're reading it? And if that's true, what happens next?
Well, if that happens, it ends up being taken up by the full Senate, maybe even as early as this evening, to begin a process of several days. The ultimate outcome I feel very positive about. When you look at it, the members of the Senate are going to reach up and grab that arc of history and pull it just a little bit closer to justice. And I think this is our chance this week.
So, Mr. Chairman, what are you hearing from, there are Republicans on that committee who you work with all the time, who I know you respect, Senator Sass and Tillis and Lee and others come to mind. What are they telling you about their no votes? What's their principal objection to this nominee?
Well, they have many different reasons, and I'll leave it to them to explain their point of view. Without exception, though, they believe she's extraordinarily well qualified. This is her fourth appearance before the Senate Judiciary Committee. We have poured over all of her opinions, almost 600 written opinions, 10,000, 12,000 pages from the Sentencing Commission, thousands of pages from the Obama Library. She has been so carefully monitored and reviewed and fly-specced, really, over and over again. She's clearly well qualified, and the theories that are being used against her, thrown at her, just don't wash. They don't make sense. They're not new and they're not true. This weekend, 2 or 3 different sources came up with polls where the American people watched the proceedings and concluded in even greater numbers that she's ready for the Supreme Court. I agree with them.
She handled herself very well, and Joe, we should add that one member of the Republican on the Judiciary Committee, Lindsey Graham, voted for her confirmation 10 months ago to this current seat she holds.
Yeah, no good explanations. Senator Maya Wiley's here. She's going to have a question, but first I want to go to you, Maya, and just ask you what it means. 54 years after Martin Luther King was assassinated, 54 years ago last night, he gave that extraordinary speech where he said, "I've been to the mountaintop, and I may not get there with you, but I've seen we're going to get to the promised land." What does a day like today mean that you actually have a black woman being voted on by the Judiciary Committee for the Supreme Court? It's taken far too long. I think we'd all agree with that. But what does it mean?
It means that, sadly, there are cynical forces that are trying to push us back down the mountain. And I don't say that lightly. The truth is, we have made progress in this country on race. And at the same time, we have seen forces that are using race, learning about the history of the civil rights movement, learning history about slavery, and now even taking the most qualified candidate we have seen, frankly, well qualified rating from the American Bar Association, vetted 3 times by the Senate for confirmations, and to your point, just 10 months ago. And yet the debate is whether she is a scary radical. I mean, that's essentially, it is a kind of debate that has nothing to do with her qualifications. And part of what, and I've heard Republicans rightly say this many times, judge us by the content of our character, not by our skin color. And yet the content of her character was also on display in these hearings. And I think this is why we can now speak for 95% of Democrats, but also 30% of Republicans in saying, confirm. No. And if we are truly a nation that believes in equality, if we are truly a nation that says that we believe in the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that we are a plural democracy that cares about whether we all have a voice and whether we get what we've earned, then she gets confirmed.
And Senator, we don't really know at times. We've all been surprised over the past 5 years where polls are going, where the American people are going. But you were so right. Listening to Maya, thinking about, again, the debates that are going on Capitol Hill regarding this extraordinarily qualified candidate. That's not a debate going on in Middle America, because Middle America says she deserves to be on the Supreme Court. She should be put on the Supreme Court, and the Republicans have treated her badly.
Joe, I couldn't have said it better than what you just said and what Maya said as well. We had about 1,000 people come through the hearing room during those 4 days, law students and a variety of folks. One of them was the lady who cleans up our office, who we talked to and said, would you be interested? And she said, I want to be there. She sat through several hours of the hearing. She came out. She said, I was so proud to be part of this moment. She said, but why do some people have to be so mean? You know, that was really the image that came through to the American people. I would say first and foremost, Senator Grassley and the majority of the Republicans were fair. They asked tough questions, and they should, but there were several that went over the line, and I don't have to name names. The American people have decided she's ready, and I couldn't agree with them more.
Yeah, let's ask you, I'm curious your thoughts about the January 6th committee, the gap, the long gap in the former president's phone records. Do you think we're going to get to the bottom of that? Is it inevitable that we are going to find out who Donald Trump was talking to while the rioters were tearing down the Capitol, breaking into the Capitol, defecating inside the Capitol, abusing police officers outside and inside of the Capitol, and members were begging Donald Trump, family members were begging Donald Trump to call off the rioters?
Donald Trump can run, but he can't hide. There are going to be disclosures, despite his efforts to thwart them, that will tell the full story. I watched the interview with Congressman Raskin. I respect him very much. I think they have information that will piece together what actually occurred in the 7 or 8 hours that disappeared from the official records. This Rosemary Woods moment turned into be hours during a critical moment in American history. The facts and truth will come out. We know the president was promoting his big lie, and he was prepared to disrupt the proceedings here on Capitol Hill, and we saw what happened with 150 law enforcement officers attacked by these demonstrators. The truth will prevail.
Judiciary Committee Chair Dick Durbin, thank you. And Maya Wiley.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.